Good day, everyone. We are pleased to be with you all today. My name is Hyacinth Yvette Alien, and along with my group mates who are from the Adventist University of the Philippines College of Nursing, we have conducted an interview about proteins from three persons. Before we proceed to our interview, please allow me to introduce my group mates who will be the one to interview these three persons. They are Catriana Reen Perez, Rian Octavio, and Sofia Capistrano. Now, let's lend our ears as these three interviewees share their knowledge to our questions. Thank you.
Good evening. So this evening we are going to have an interview about proteins and we are with Mr. Roy G. Perez. But before we start, let us ask Mr. Roy G. Perez to introduce himself.
Thank you, Catriana. I'm from Cagayan de Oro City. I'm 63 years of age and currently I'm serving in one of the institutions of our Adventist Church, the ISP, also known as the Adventist International Health System Philippines Incorporated.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Capistrano, and I'm more than happy to use my knowledge in nursing to share some ideas regarding today's topic. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us something about yourself?
My name is Sevener Palomelo Brown. I am currently 17 years old and living in Paranaque City.
So our interview is all about proteins. So the first question, how important are proteins in your diet?
They are usually essential in my diet since they improve in the healing of my body tissues such as my skin, hair, muscle, and bone.
Well, I'm not really expert on this matter as I'm not a medical person. As far as my knowledge is concerned about protein, this is basically one of the top three important food that we require each day in our body. At least for one thing is it is responsible for building for our bones, our cartilages, our skin, muscle, and in fact, if you look at it, our hair and our nails are mostly comprised of protein. And aside from building, it is also responsible for the repair and of course, the protein that we consume every day. Most of the components or the contents of protein that we are consuming will be converted or be made part of the enzymes. This means it will help us to digest efficiently what we eat every day. So that is how important is protein to our body, where we need to consume enough of protein every day.
Well, protein is really important in our diet because it is considered an essential macronutrient. It is important in hormone regulation, growth, repair, and maintenance of cells because proteins are made up of amino acids which are the building blocks of the body. Also, it is important in the growth of our skin, muscle, bones, and cartilage. It is also said that if we don't have enough protein in our diet, then our body will start consuming our muscle for energy. There are also some studies that say protein intake maintains hunger levels and it also helps in our maintenance of good blood sugar levels.
Can you give us some circumstances on how it helps you?
Well, when I was doing my homeworks and I was tired,
Mm-hmm.
I ate some foods and then I realized that that's why when I'm tired, your body or my body will take glucose from carbs and then fatty acids in order
Mm-hmm.
for your body to regain energy.
What do you think are the health effects of eating too much proteins?
Well, there are conflicting ideas on this matter. Some scientists say that too much protein in our diet doesn't really have anything to do or negative effects at all, while most scientists say that too much protein in our body can result to kidney problems. It constitutes to the development of kidney stones. Also, too much protein can result in cardiovascular diseases, Another bad effect would be ketosis, since nitrogen is a byproduct of protein when it's being broken down. And ketosis would also result to halitosis or bad breath. So I'm not really sure about the negative effects of too much protein in our diet, but one thing that I can confirm is that most people say that it is fat that makes us gain weight, but it's the other way around. It's actually too much protein in the diet that constitute to faster and more consolidated weight gain.
every day.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to our second question. How do you choose protein sources for our food when you eat?
In the past, I've been consuming a lot of meat products because of some health complications that I had in the past where I had this cardiomegaly or also known as the enlargement of the heart. So I have to minimize the consumption of meat products. And just lately, about 4 days ago, I graduated from a 6-week program of the Adventist Medical Center Manila. This is the program on lifestyle is medicine. And I learned some items about protein where we need to consume plant-based diet for our sources of protein. But the amount of protein may not be exactly the same amount that you will be getting from the meat products. That's why you have to eat a variety or many nuts, many grains and others so that you can acquire the necessary or the required proteins in your body. In the event that you cannot eat a lot of protein coming from the plant-based, then you have to eat meat but on a minimal amount. That is what we can best do if you cannot have the access to the best protein coming from the plant food. So you go for a protein coming from the plant foods where it has no or less cholesterol contents, because the moment you eat protein sources from animal meat, the danger there is an association or there is also cholesterol that you may be acquiring from eating of those foods.
I always eat my protein foods with vegetables because it helps to lower my blood pressure, heart
Mm-hmm.
disease, eye illness, and digestive issues. And vegetables are a great source of vitamins and minerals, especially in this time of pandemic. We can protect ourselves by eating healthy or being strict on the food that we eat against the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, what we eat, it fuels our body, impacting our mood, energy levels, and overall well-being.
Well, that's really hard to do since we are in a pandemic, so we don't have much to choose from except from the products that are available in the supermarket. But ideally, in our household, our sources of protein are eggs, poultry like chicken, mm, white meat, fish. There's also nuts and legumes. But since what I've said, we're in a pandemic, so most days our sources of protein would just be eggs and sardines. And yeah, meat, processed meat and canned products. So that's not healthy at all.
Okay, thank you very much. And for our last question, which do you think is more important, the quantity or the quality of protein in your food, and why?
It would be the food's quality, which can be seen in their high nutritional content that will help me feel energized by the middle of the day. Also, the quality of the food, it will prevent me from long-term illnesses and even better to increase long-term health. Overall, it gives benefits to my body.
Okay. So I think it's a cliche. Most people would say that we should always go for quality than quantity. But if you're going to ask for my own opinion, it doesn't really matter if we go for quality or quantity, because like what we've discussed earlier, when it comes to quantity, too much protein can result to negative effects. Then when it comes to quality, sometimes people become, I don't know, a bit greedy you know, that's one thing also. They become greedy that, oh, we have these lots of high quality protein sources, so we'll just save this for special events. And there are also some who would opt for cheaper sources. Like if you go to the market and you choose between beef or eggs, of course the practical choice would be eggs. You can buy at least 3 trays of eggs with the same amount of money that you'll spend on a kilo of beef. But I think when it comes to our family, it really it really differs. See, my mom would go. I think my mom would go for the quantity, while our father would go for the quality. So, for me, it doesn't really matter that much.
Basically, it should be quality because if you go for quantity, that means you have to prepare a lot. So therefore, it may be expensive on your part. Quality means lesser in preparation, meaning lesser in amount in terms of expenses, but it will give you the right amount of food required in your body. As I have told you that I had my online class with the Adventist Medical Center Manila. So because of the life's change that I went through with my diet, I have the following gain, the following achievements. From a weight of 80 kilos, I brought it down to 74 in just a matter of 6 weeks. And then my laboratory results in terms of my cholesterol, blood sugar, at least those two things were on the borderline. Today, it's now brought down to a highly manageable level within the range of the normal range of the reading, what is good for the health. And what is also good is that before I had a very high level of triglycerides and now it's normal. Reason being because I choose plant-based diet. So ensuring that I still have the enough amount of protein but minimizing or refraining from food that may have some amount of cholesterol. So at the end of the day, it is a matter of choice. So what I can say is I want to live longer with functionality than live longer miserably. In other words, I want to die healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Roy G. Perez, Mr. Gabriel Rodolph Gabriel Capistrano, and Mr. Evan Rafael M. Brown. We are glad that you have accepted our offer to be part of our interview this day. I hope, guys, we have learned something today about their experiences and answers about proteins. Thank you.